What's up? What's up? What's up? How you
Hey
guys
there.
doing?
Hey,
What's
good. How are
good?
you?
I'm good. I'm good. Welcome to episode 2 of the Gaming Hour, our new gaming podcast with your host Andre right here. I got BJ and Johnny. How you guys doing today, man?
Doing all
Man,
right. Doing all right.
I'm great, man. I can't complain.
Good, good, good. Looks like we all had the day off. That's what it's looking like if we on here at noon. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
so today's show we're gonna go a little bit to a couple different avenues, different things we're gonna talk about. Once again, audience, I'm trying to find a fourth member. So if you're watching this and you want to join, please let me know. Send me an email, a DM, whatever, and we'll try to get you on here. And guys, I don't know if I told you both you guys, but we're gonna have special guests from every now and then.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, so it could be friends of ours, people who love to talk about games, but we'll have a special guest until we get a fourth consistent person,
Nice.
So we're gonna start off with what games you are currently playing. This is I think we're gonna start off every episode like this. So what game talk about the first game and then we'll go back around if you're playing multiple things. But Johnny, let's start with you. What's something you're currently playing right now, man?
Sure. Yeah. So I just started playing Dead by Daylight again pretty regularly. Yep. I just started putting some more hours in Killer again. I'm sort of getting ready for the new chapter, which is coming out, the Dungeons and Dragons Dead by Daylight crossover, which is like I never imagined could possibly happen, but they're doing it. Vecna is coming out as the new killer, which I'm really excited. He looks like a lot of fun to play, even though I've seems like he's a little underpowered. Some people have said who've gotten to play him so far, but it doesn't matter. He's a Dungeons and Dragons killer, so I mean, I have to play him. He has to be my new main.
Okay, are there more killers than like I know Vecna is one from Stranger Things, but are there more killers more bosses or whatever you want to call them on there?
In D&D, yeah. So in Dungeons and Dragons, so there's sort of like a canon. There are like canon storylines, and Vecna is like a major enemy from one of those. But honestly, in most games, sort of sky's the limit. You're limited only by your imagination and like the sort of people, the sort of enemies that you face. So DVD also recently announced a vampire killer, and that made me think of there's a person called Strahd in Dungeons and Dragons who's a very famous vampire who, he'll never be in DVD, I'll say, but that'd be awesome. I can always just pretend that it's Strahd when I'm playing their new vampire killer too.
Would you say Vecna is like, I don't know if there's levels to stuff, but is he like one of the high
He's
level?
one of the big bads. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a really famous enemy. Made even more famous by the Stranger Things feature. It's cool because Stranger Things really has brought D&D into the broader sphere these days. People are talking about it a lot more, perhaps because of Stranger Things, and then shows like Critical Role and other things that have just increased its popularity, which is, it's great to see. As somebody who loves the game, I'm very happy to see it getting so much attention.
Okay. BJ, what about you, man?
Man, the only thing I've been playing is that Dragon Ball Super card game on the digital client. Getting ready for the regional. I plan on attending the regional in Rosemont, Illinois, in about a month.
Okay.
They just added set 2 to the client yesterday, so now it opens up a lot of new decks and new combinations with old decks, new support. And I'm trying to grind to get to that God rank, man. If I feel like if I can get to that God rank, then I probably will have a good chance of competing in the regional. So we're gonna see how it goes.
And what's the name of the game?
It's a Dragon Ball Super Fusion World.
Okay,
it's a new card game.
Yeah.
It just came out in February. It's only 2 sets out right now.
Okay.
I mean, it is a little hard to find the product right now. That's kind of a bad habit of Bandai to, starve you for for product. But it's kicking off, man. It's getting there.
Okay. Is this
Yeah.
what we're looking at right now?
Yep. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay.
Looks like that's breaking it down. All the rules and whatnot. Like I ain't the best really to explain.
Okay.
As far as ruling and all that, but hey, I mean, I definitely if you like card games, I would recommend it.
What are we looking at when they say awaken your leader? What does that have to do with anything?
Okay, so There's a life system in the game. You start with 8 life. Um, After you get down, for most leaders, after you get down to four life, then you can flip your leader over and awaken it, and it gains more power and also gains a special ability that it can use.
Okay.
Um, so yeah.
Okay. And you say you're going out of town to so you trying to like rank up or whatever?
Oh yeah, it's a regional tournament in Illinois. They have them like a couple every month in different areas, and this one just so happened to be pretty close to me, so I was like, shoot, let me give it a try. There's a good pricing, if you can actually top. There's some cards that are pretty valuable. I know the top 16 card is going from anywhere to like $2,000-3,000 for the one card because it's got a
Wow.
serial number.
Okay.
And then even like top 32, top 64, even those cards pretty valuable, and they're so there's some profit to potentially be made there if I can actually perform.
Okay. And what would you like if you win this tournament, or like what would you get? What kind of prize?
Yeah, like the main prize is the serial card for top 16. So really, I don't. If you win, I believe you also get like a play mat, which would probably also sell pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you get a
Okay.
play mat and you get some packs, championship packs, which also have they're like gold foiled cards.
Okay.
So yeah, you pretty much get some pretty rare cards. Like with the serial number, it makes it like a 1 of 1 card. And
Okay.
then if you get lucky and you get like a meme number, let's say I get like 420. That's going to increase the value of the card because somebody
Yeah.
wants the 420
Yeah.
card. You know what I'm saying? So,
Do you anticipate seeing some of the same people at these tournaments, even though they might be in different locations?
oh yeah, man, these guys are traveling all over to these things. Like they had the last one they had, I believe it was last weekend. It was in North Carolina. Yeah,
Okay.
North Carolina they had it. Then the one before that was in Montreal, Canada. So
Oh.
this is also going on all around the country. They have them.
Yeah.
It's going on all over the world. And these
Okay.
guys, they travel. You see the guys who top at these tournaments, people follow them. They're looking at their deck list. They want to hear, oh, how was it? So
Yeah.
you get a little recognition with that too within the community.
Okay. Could you per se copy someone's deck? Like someone has a strong deck.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. And again, that's why you top. Everybody's gonna want the YouTube video of your deck profile.
Yeah.
They'll probably try to stop you at the tournament, like, hey man, everybody wants to see what you're running, so you can absolutely copy it card for card if you wanted to.
Okay. It's just how you play it, I guess. Then.
Yeah, it's all about how you play it, and with these type of games, there's always some RNG involved, So
Okay. I'm currently. I think I'm gonna pull this up too. I'm playing DVD, same as Johnny. Been playing it for way too long now. DVD with a hint of Marvel Snap in, but this is the Vecna trailer for the DVD. For me, it's just like I said, low key. It's not any real competitive. It's not like Gears of War, Call of Duty. I just can kind of chill out and play it. Don't get too stressed. Yes, I still get pissed off when I get hit through a window or something like that, or the killers, lunging at me because they got some more power. But just having fun with that. Ready for the anniversary event to start, and it's just a cool game, Johnny. I don't know. Did you hear about the 2VA mode? Did you hear about that?
I heard a little bit about it. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that would go. I feel like it would be killer-sided if there were 2, even with 8 survivors. But I'm not sure.
So they made some of the maps bigger. I think they made 3 or 4 maps larger, and it's going to be 2v8. 3 or 4 maps are larger. Killers cannot. There's no more hooks. So if you get down, they kind of like step on you, and you go into like a tree, kind of like the pyramid head when you go to the cage. You cannot pick 2 of the same killer, as we're looking at Vecna right now. You cannot pick 2 of the same killer, and they wanted to make it more arcadey. They felt like the hooks would make it a little bit more slower, so they wanted to make it kind of arcadey.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be interested to try it. Anything that sort of shakes up the normal gameplay loop is welcome. Because it's been the same formula for quite a while now. With they'll throw in new perks and stuff and new killers from time to time, but anything to spice it up is always.
So that's mid. mid-July that's supposed to start, and then that's a limited time mode. So they're gonna see if they want to, with our help, with the fans' help, players' help, see if we can keep it on there.
Sure.
Have you tried the Chaos Shuffle? Have you played that?
I have,
Okay.
but I have to admit I'm not good enough. I'm not I don't know all the perks and what they do. So half the time
Okay.
I get things there that I'm like, oh, what does this do?
I didn't even.
Because I took a long break for like a year and a half or so. So killers like Alien, the Skull Merchant, and anyone that's come out since then. Who else? There's the Singularity. These
Chucky.
Chucky. These are killers that I know almost nothing about.
Has it been a year and a half since we played together? It ain't been that long.
It's been a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while.
Damn.
And I think even then, I think I just hopped on to play a couple Survivor games.
Yeah, true.
So playing killer, I'll get these perks. So it's almost like playing perkless for those perks, because I just don't know what they do, and they don't tell you when you're in the mode. So I just got to guess.
Yeah, they just extended it. It was supposed to end yesterday. I think they just extended it. Extended the mode because it went over well. So, BJ, you know anything about the Chaos Shuffle? I know you played a little bit before.
No, man, I ain't played DVD since the Oni was a new killer.
My goodness!
Wow.
That was probably one of the last times I played, so I had no idea they had new modes. Like, that actually sounds interesting.
Yeah, they're trying to. At first, it was always just like how do you want to say it? Like a limited time mode, but they did say that they were going to add like extra modes to stay there. So extra modes.
Okay, I mean, they got to do something. So you know, like I said, you know how the gameplay can get, man. They got to try to spice it up. So I don't blame them.
They had I don't know if either one of you seen this. I'll show you this. Like I'll be listening to podcasts and looking up stuff all the time, man. So that's kind of one of my things. This was their so they're trying to dabble into a couple other games. So this is their other game. I'm gonna keep the sound off for copyright issues, but this is What the Fog they called it. They gave this away free. It might still be free. So they got this, and they got the casting of Frank Stone. That's coming out. That's a single player.
Wait, what is this? This is just a different game?
Yeah, this by Behavior, and this you can tell a couple of the players.
Oh, they finna. Okay, I see. They said they're gonna get their money out of this. Absolutely.
So, they gave. I don't know if they still.
This looks interesting though. This does look actually. It looks like I would play this.
And you can see those. That's like the blood point thing, and they got generators on there. I don't know if they're gonna have the original killers on here as well, but they have this kind of stuff on there. So it looks sweet. Only 2 players. Yeah, this out. This out. So, just something to think about if you want. I don't know how much it is on Steam, but it was free.
Drastically different from DVD. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's like it looks different, but then it also looks like it's got some of that core mechanics still going. Like I'm seeing you with the generators and stuff, and running out the doors.
And then they have a single player avenue they're going to with the cast and the Frank Stone. So that will be that's gonna be a good one as well.
Yeah, they got to dive into that lore, man. I know people love that lore. So some single player getting into some of the story, I think they'd eat that up.
Yeah, I really like. I think I really like Behavior as a company, and I hope one of these other projects really pans out for them, because I know that what was the other game that they recently released that is sort of dead now?
I don't know.
The one where you like create your own dungeon and like players will try to clear it, and gosh, I gotta look it up.
It's not I don't think it's Enshrouded. They can't be that one.
No.
Create your own dungeon. I don't know.
Let's see.
Behavior.
Oh my gosh, it's Meet Your Maker, I think is what it's called. I think it's Meet Your Maker.
I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah. So it's by Behavior.
Okay.
And I think it's sort of fizzled out a bit. I think the player base has sort of disappeared, almost like with gosh, hard for me to remember games these days. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It started out and had a lot of surge in popularity, and then I think those gameplay loops weren't as captivating as DVD
Yeah.
seems to be.
Did you ever play that?
I didn't. I was watching some people play it. Some of the streamers that
Okay.
I watch were playing it a bit, and yeah, it seemed fun for a while, and then probably got old.
You said build your own dungeon kind of thing.
Yep. Yeah. So you get from what I understand, you get like tiles. So think like almost like a Minecraft situation. You can build this whole sort of dungeon, and then you set traps, and the goal is for you to kill people that are coming in to try to clear your dungeon. And the more people you kill, the more people your dungeon kills, the more like reward you get for it. And I think that's like a currency that you can spend on more intricate dungeon designs, I think. So it's an interesting concept. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Okay. Look like Doom to me a little bit. This.
Yeah. So that's showing right there somebody building, and this is showing somebody like in it, probably trying to clear it there. And you're going after that little red vial, the genetic material.
Okay. That's interesting. Never heard of it. That's okay.
Yeah. It came out maybe a couple years ago, I think. Just let me look up how many people are actually playing right now. Meteor Maker concurrent players.
Meteor Maker. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's 16 people playing it right now.
Dang, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's tough. That's
sorry, developers. I'm laughing, but man.
No, that's damn.
Yeah. I mean, it was never as popular as DVD.
Yeah.
I think I'm seeing the all-time peak here was like 3,000. So I mean, it was a much smaller project overall, I think.
Yeah.
But because I like the company, because I think I like the company, I want to see their next stuff do pretty well. Yeah. To compare, Dead by Daylight has currently 44,000 people playing right now, and 105,000 peak.
Okay.
So DVD is definitely their biggest project.
All right, let's go to our next topic. We're going to circle around to video games and graphics. And I know I played a little bit of Hellblade 2. I know both of you said you haven't either one of you play Hellblade 1 or beat Hellblade 1?
Nope.
I have not.
No. Okay.
It's
a pretty... Go ahead, my bad.
I mean, is Hellblade, is that on Game Pass?
Yeah, it's on Game Pass. Yeah.
Oh, I might have to check it out. Yeah,
you can get 1 and 2. It's a short game. Let's get it right here. I don't want that. Short game, but graphically, I mean, that's what they're known for, Ninja Theory. I mean, it just looks great.
And
show you some gameplay.
Of Senua.
Gameplay right here, Senua. But it's a very short game. A lot of people now are complaining that the game's too short. It's a lot of the gameplay loop is very not that many combos. You fight a little bit, but it's many. I can't stress this enough. Cutscenes. So you're walking. They kind of call it a walking simulator. You're walking, then you get into a cutscene. You're walking. Graphically, I mean, it's great, but it's a very short game. So my question would be, as we look at the review right here, let me pause that. My question would be to you two: would you guys rather have one of those big games like Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's 100 hours and you got to do this and you got all those little exclamation points on your maps, the big games like that, or a game that's really good with a lot of substance, but it's only 5 hours, only 15 hours, something like that? You like a longer game, or you like a shorter game with a lot of substance? BJ, let's start with you.
In my heart, I want to say a longer game because I just feel like it would make for a better, more immersive experience. But my brain knows that I probably have to go shorter games because I've been trying to play these longer games lately, and it's just like I just can't get through them, man. If it's these longer games, I cannot get through them. I'm not gonna lie, man. I'm too much of like I get sidetracked by a fighting game, or like now I'm playing this card game, so I get soaked into. Even you guys playing DVD, it's like you get soaked into the competitive games where you can just play it for hours and hours, and there's no end really. It's just playing, just maybe for you want to be competitive or just to level up or whatever, and it's endless. For me, I think I have to go shorter games now. Like a game, that's what I'm saying. Hellblade, you saying it's on Game Pass? I could go download Game Pass. It's like 8 hours. I could play it tonight and see the whole everything that happened. I probably play both games within the next 2 days. So I think I might have to go short. Like, for me, 30, 40 hours. I mean, maybe that's a little longer. I think that's reasonable.
Uh-huh.
They have these games now. They're like 100 plus, and
Yeah,
I've done
yeah.
it. Like I've done it. Like I'm saying, Baldur's Gate 3. When are we ever going to really get through that game? Like,
Yeah, that's true.
it's going to take us like a lot of dedicated gaming sessions where we probably sit down for like at
Three,
least
4
2 hours.
hours. Yeah, yeah,
At
yeah.
least
I
two
think my
hours.
first playthrough was 120 hours for that one.
Exactly.
Woo!
Exactly. I think the last game I put that many hours into was Persona. I played Persona 5 and Persona 4. I did over 100 hours. And I don't know. One other thing I want to throw in there, because this is something that Stellar Blade is doing that I'm seeing a lot of companies do. It's like they all want to have this open world, right? And that's where most of the time is at. Like, yeah, the game is 100 hours, but you probably spent 20 hours just running from place to place. You know, some game, and I get it. For some games, you can do that, but I feel like Stellar Blade in particular, it's got like this pseudo open world where it's like you have your towns or whatever, but then you just have this like big map. It's not as big as like a Breath of the Wild or like a GTA or something, but it's like just like it's about like medium size, and then you have all these like just objectives to keep running back and forth, and I just feel like, man, you could have cut some of this out, like, and just kept with
Uh-huh.
the narrative,
The
just
fluff,
keep with the
yeah.
narrative, and you probably still could have had like a 30-hour game. You could have cut out the 10 hours of me just fucking running back and forth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe we getting old. People got jobs, kids.
Yeah.
Just let us get to the point, man.
Johnny,
I'm
what
gonna just
about
leave it
you?
there.
Yeah, I think it really depends on a couple things. I think the first thing is the quality of the experience, because I think there are short games that can be really good.
Uh-huh.
So Undertale was the first game that came to mind for
Yeah.
me. I think I just looked it up. The average playthrough for Undertale, it takes about 6 hours, which sounds like it's
Okay.
comparable to this Hellblade 2.
Uh-huh.
Um, Obviously seem like very different games. Like the most obvious is perhaps graphically,
Uh-huh.
just based
Yeah,
because
that's true.
Undertale was this little like sort of Nintendo-esque
Yeah.
two-dimensional RPG, and yet it was phenomenal. It took the whole gaming world by storm, and I had
Beating Sans was hard.
yeah, absolutely, and I never did it. I never was able to. So, so, but like I had an experience like with the game, like it was like an emotional journey. And I don't know too much about Hellblade 2, but it sounds like it's being pretty well received. So if it's 4 hours that leave a really strong impression on you, and you can actually have like an experience with this media, then maybe it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's different from the sorts of games that we've been mentioning, sort of these competitive ones, in that I think competitive games like League of Legends, like Dead by Daylight, and those sorts of games, the gameplay is sort of made by the community. The fun part comes in playing with and against other people, whereas in these sort of single player story based games, it's the experience is sort of crafted by the developers, and I think they're limited in that, like, they'll never be able to provide as much variety and like excitement as like multiplayer competition would offer,
Yeah.
because it's like these games are so. I sort of, when I play League, and when I try to justify playing League, I like to describe it almost like a game of chess. Like the pieces are there, but like it might be a different match every time you play, because like
Yeah.
there's a million different things that could happen, and it's exciting. It's still exciting to play. It's still fun, even though it's the same formula with a little bit of variation here and there. These single player experiences don't have that same luxury, so they have to offer sort of this curated experience. And I think what they can do is they can offer this sort of emotional, reflective story experience, which competitive games can't really do. So yeah, I think the quality of the experience is the biggest determinant for me to say whether I really want to play a game like that. Especially if it's less gameplay and more like cutscenes, as it sounds like this game might be.
Yeah.
So I'm I am thinking back now a bit to Metal Gear 4, which I think that game has like 8 hours of cutscenes or something ridiculous like that.
Okay. I remember that. Metal Gear 4. It's been a minute since I played a Metal Gear.
Yeah. Let me try to look it up real quick. Gosh.
Metal Gear 4.
Yeah, I think it's. Well, I don't know. It sounds like people aren't saying it's that long, but wait, no, I don't know. I think it's. Oh yeah, it is 8 to 9 hours. So yeah, it's a little. The cutscenes are crazy, but there's a lot of gameplay involved in that one too.
Yeah.
So if you like cutscenes, you'll probably
Hellblade and Metal Gear.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
I say for me, I said this last time. I've talked to both of you about this. It depends. I guess for me, it depends on if it's single player or multiplayer. That is just a big. Like I would have no problem sitting down with you guys for 120 hours and playing Baldur's Gate 3 with friends. If you tell me Baldur's Gate 3 was a solo act and I had to do that by myself, I probably wouldn't even turn it on. Like I probably wouldn't even sometimes I'll hit BJ up, or when you're on, like you want to play Baldur's Gate 3, I'll play it with you guys. But if I'm going to play it by myself, it just doesn't. I don't know. I've been like that for a long time, where the single player experience doesn't interest me as much. I beat Hellblade 1. And I turned on Hellblade 2 the other day and started playing it. And like 10 minutes in, I was like, all right, I'm going to turn it off. Like I needed that. I need that camaraderie. I need that friend, talking about different things, just having a shared experience. I've even did some games with friends where we've played the same game, a single player game, but played it at the same time. So play like a Resident Evil at the same time. So you can talk your way through it, talk about what's going on in your game compared to their game. So like the new Assassin's Creed, I used to be a big Assassin's Creed fan, but the new ones I don't even get into because they're single player and I don't want to check off all the side missions. That's just too much for me, man. I'm not trying to get into all that stuff. Kind of like BJ said, it's just like added fluff, added things to it. And it's like, man, you could have had a streamlined game that was 30 hours, but you added 200 side missions. Now it's 70, 80 hours. And nobody got time for that, nobody got time to want to do that.
Shit. I said, I don't mind the side missions. I just hate that they feel like they have to give the feeling of the open world, man. Like everything don't have to be open world, guys. Seriously, like I said, it's the walking. Like it's literally gonna take. I mean, sometimes they have like
the fast travel.
Like in Stellar Blade, they do have the little telephones that you can kind of travel to, but you still gotta get to them first of all. And then again, there's a million side missions in every corner of this little map, and it's like I'm thinking back to my old RPG and action games. Like, and I got to go back to Final Fantasy X since it's my favorite game. And one big criticism of that game was like, oh, it's a hallway simulator. You just run forward for the whole game. And it's like, you know what? Sometimes if you got a good enough story and then you got some good combat in that hallway, I can live with that. It don't have to be running around a big area for an hour trying to get 10 side missions done. But that's just me, I guess.
I think another question to consider is price, and what you're getting for what you're paying for. So in Hellblade 2, if it's a 4 or 5 hour experience, I just looked it up. It's a $50 game. It's like so. Okay,
that's crazy. Like it's no way.
Like it from what it looks beautiful, right? It looks beautiful.
Right.
It better be some like. It would have to have for me to be worth it. It would have to have more staying power than Undertale. Like emotionally or impactfully, for it to be really worth it, because Undertale was like $15 on release. And it's like
cheap.
Yeah, you get these graphics, but at what cost? And apparently the cost is an extra $35 for a shorter game. So I don't know. Well, let me put it like this: I'm probably not going to buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the best determinant there for me. Unless like all my friends are like, dude, this changed my life, and then I'd be okay, maybe I'll spring for it. But as it is, no, I've got more important things, or perhaps even better games to spend my money on.
So on that same point, to both of you, either one of you can go. How much do graphics factor into your game? Like, do graphics matter to you? Because we got the Switch with just general graphics, they next gen and all these things. Do graphics really matter to people these days? What do you guys think?
I think there was a time where it was really important. I think the spectacle of moving from like Super Nintendo to N64, like when we first got into the age of 3D graphics for games, and I thought of a point that I'll save till later. There was a time where graphics were really important and people were really impressed. But now that we've gotten to a point where, like, with enough manpower, you can sort of make anything happen on a screen, not only in video games but in movies. It's like there's a point at which the spectacle of graphics doesn't carry something anymore. It's sort of like, I almost want to consider graphics as like the cheap way of saying something's really good. It's
okay.
like it's like if you're putting a lot decor, or you're really dressing up something that doesn't have much substance. It's
like a house that's falling apart, but you put all this nice stuff on.
Yeah, yeah. It's like it's like a house that's the foundation's cracked, but you put a new paint job on the outside or something like that. It's like, anybody that looks close enough or knows what they're looking at is not going to want to buy that house. So, I in fact, I think good graphics might make me more suspicious of a game, because I don't know. I think we talked about this a little bit last time too, how I feel like the AAA companies are not making games that like they're making games to check a bunch of boxes that are going to try to sell a lot of copies, but I feel like they, more often than not, they're not really great experiences. And I think the only studios that can really afford to do like extremely good graphics are these AAA companies. So yeah, that's my answer. I think graphics are secondary, if not tertiary, concern. Again, citing Undertale as like one of the best games. Like, it's so much fun with like 2D pixel graphics.
Regular,
yeah.
What about you, BJ? Graphics?
Graphics, no, zero. And I really don't think it even matters to a lot of people, because even another big game that came out recently, the Hades 2. That's not a real crazily like graphically intensive game, and
it's got its own style though. It's got its own.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
like, art,
but it's
You could probably like kind of tie them together. Art style versus graphics. Like if you have good art, then you don't necessarily have to be like most realistic looking.
Right.
And like, do I think super good graphics warrants having to pay? And then even Hades, I think, is like $30 if you wanted to play it right now in pre-release. But I don't think graphics are really a big factor. I mean,
I think one place where they still factor in now is the development of VR games, and I don't know if those are really still in major focus for developers anymore. We might have passed that, but I feel like VR is still where graphical fidelity and really high resolution graphics are really valued, because there is that level of immersion that's facilitated by really good graphics in VR. So I think if there's anywhere where they do really matter, I think it's VR.
Yeah. I think they matter in sport, even though I don't play them as much anymore. Like, you get these WWE games and you look at the Undertaker, you look at somebody and you're like, wow, like this looks crazy. Like, that's
a good point. I think sports games are another place where they are pretty valuable, and I think that might have to do with like the spectacle of sport itself, and that like sports are sort of like a visual entertainment. And I think as close as the games can get to mimicking the reality of sport, then I think that is still an area where graphics are
that is true,
pretty appreciated by the player base.
That is true.
Go ahead, BJ.
So you're definitely picking and choosing where it depends on the game, right? Where graphics matter, like you said, sports, it makes perfect sense. I mean, the game played 9 times out of 10 is the same. If you played Madden 24, you played Madden 20. It's like slightly different. So the only thing they have to improve is the graphics. Or even Hellblade, again, it's a more heavily like narrative based game. The gameplay is not even really like the main like selling point of the game.
Oh,
damn, that looked really real for a second.
I know, crazy,
that very
bro.
first part I thought that was actually Rey Mysterio or somebody on the ground.
Crazy.
But see, this looks kind of goofy though.
Crazy. I mean, when you see the entrances, it's just crazy stuff, man.
Yeah. So some of it looks pretty polished, while other parts don't. That's
yeah.
Yo, this is silly.
I mean,
that looks pretty good. That looked pretty good.
I was looking bad.
Man.
Okay.
Look at that, man.
They were showing some 2020 stuff in there. That's what that was.
Obviously, this the real stuff because if it looked like that.
Now that looks real.
Right, if it looks like that. They need to tell everybody the secret. But, I think
once sport games look like that, then I might buy it. Once they look like the old 80s footage or 90s footage of WrestleMania, I'll buy them then.
Yeah, I think that's the only, because Johnny, a game that me and you both, if Dead by Daylight, I won't say that's a graphical, outlier.
It's a normal game. Yeah, it's okay. And in fact, some people will prefer to play on the lowest graphic settings for it because it's it is easier to see some stuff in the game. Some of the things that tell you where people are, like the scratch marks. It's easier to see on low settings. Yeah. Graphics aren't everything.
This next segment is one I've been looking forward to. So a game that for you that you love, that you feel like is underrated. A game for you that you love, that you feel like it could be a favorite, just underrated, something you like to play. So either one of you go ahead and tackle that. And I'm interested to see these. I'm very interested. And I'll try to pull them up as well while we're talking about them, get some gameplay.
Yeah, I got to think about this one. BJ, do you have an answer already, or?
If not, I'll go first.
Yeah, Dre, you might have to take the floor on this one.
So first, for me, I don't know if either one of you ever. Let me pull it up first. I don't know if the first time I played it, I think it was on Sega. Oh man, this junk is. I'm getting nostalgia right now looking at it. So let me bring it up first. And we'll see if either one of you guys played ever. Have either one of you ever heard of Toe Jam and Earl?
I've heard of them. Never actually played them, but yeah.
Never played it either.
This was a game I got when I was very young into my gaming career. And it's a fun game. I think if they remade it, rebooted it, and did it now, they might have to add it. It might have to be more than just 2 players. But essentially, you go through, and let me bring it up right now. Bring it up here. There we go. Toe Jam and Earl, Sega. I think it was Sega. Let's go. Let's see if they did. Yep, Sega. Eventually, it's just 2 of you guys. So one's Toe Jam, one's Earl. You're on vacation and you're walking around. It looks so simple. Obviously, it's hold on. Let me do that. Obviously, it's a older game. So it looks so simple, but you guys are just walking around and you're trying to get in these elevators.
I might have I think I remember renting this from Blockbuster as a child or something like that.
Yes, you got. He's just throwing the high tops to go a little higher. All kind of gifts and stuff like that. Simple game. Gets in the elevators. And this is one of the first games I remember where you can be separated. So Toe Jam's one place and Earl is another place. So you can be separated. Let's see if we can find the other guys' gameplay. It looks like they're only doing 1 player, but there's the elevator you got to get in to leave. But you guys are together. Separated, and then you just go and do different things. And I just thought it was always a cool concept. I could play this right now and just have a good time with it. Very fun. Like I said, this was, I don't know when this came out, but I think probably 80s, I'm assuming. And it was just a fun game, man. A fun game. I had a good time with it. So that's mine, Toe Jam and Earl. They came out with some, I think they came out with one on the Xbox 360, and but that one wasn't as good as this old one. So that's my nostalgia moment from Toe Jam and Earl, man. I really enjoyed that game.
Nice.
Either one of you?
Yeah, I've got a couple answers now. So a game that I really like that I think is underrated is Vermintide 2. This is a game in the Warhammer universe. It's sort of modeled after, the gameplay is modeled after the Left 4 Dead games, where there's 4 players that are making their way through a level. In Left 4 Dead it was zombies that were coming to attack you. In this game it's rats, the Skaven as they're called, this race of vermin rat creatures. Okay. And the goal is to make it to the end of the level make it to the end of the level while surviving, and you've got to kill a bunch of different, like, there's certain rats that will come and like attack you in different ways and disable part of the party, and you have to stay together and you have to work together to survive the level.
What was the name of it?
It's called Vermintide 2.
Okay.
And I had so many good memories playing this game, but it feels like it doesn't have the same staying power with my friends as it does with me, because I'm always like, hey, we could play Vermintide, and everyone's
yeah.
Or we could not, and I'm like, oh, but it's so good. It's so good though. Which then brings me to Darktide, which is sort of the spiritual successor to Vermintide. It's set in the same, well, it's the same fantasy universe, but it's the 40K version of Warhammer. I don't know if are either you guys into Warhammer at all?
I have not.
I know people that play it. I have a little bit of knowledge, but I'm not.
BJ, are they all white guys? I think it's a white guy. It tends to be a.
Actually, no. Peyton likes Warhammer.
Okay.
My cousin.
Okay.
He's a Warhammer guy. And
okay.
I played the first Vermintide. I never played Vermintide 2, but I played the first Vermintide game.
Okay.
Also.
Sure. Yeah. It's so Darktide is it's the spiritual successor to Vermintide. It's set in the 40K universe, so that's like the dark future, the grim future, like space version of Warhammer. Darktide had a lot of problems on its release. It's still sort of shaky in its state, but I enjoy both of those games a lot, and I wish more people played them.
Okay, I'll have to check them out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hey, if you guys, if anybody wants to play Vermintide or Darktide, let me know.
All right,
I'm always looking for people to play.
BJ,
right. I've been thinking this whole time, man. Only one game. You didn't even know what this game was, man. On the GameCube, that Billy Hatcher.
Oh, that Billy Hatcher you're talking about.
That was one game. I feel like a lot of people barely knew anything about it, man. It was made by Sega. You used to run around like hatching eggs to I can't even explain it, man. It's been a while, but
it was on N64, right?
That was on game. See, it was on the GameCube.
GameCube, okay, GameCube. I remember. I think that was another game that me and my friends rented from Blockbuster back when it existed, and I remember there was there a multiplayer mode, or was it single player?
I think it was single player.
Okay,
it was single player.
Billy Hatcher, wow.
Yeah, I used to roll around getting fruits, and
I remember their egg rolling thing. I remember the egg rolling.
Drawing the eggs so you could pretty much roll them over with them.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Peyton Brandon, they'll tell you, man. We used to fucking love this shit. Yeah, man. It's kind of got like a little Mario going on. It's got like a little Mario, a little Sonic. It's got like a combination of all the classics in there, man.
Okay. What was it that got you about, like, why you think you enjoy Billy Hatcher so much?
Well, I think part of it was, especially when I was younger, I was a big Sonic head.
Okay.
And it had like the Sonic eggs and stuff you could hatch, and Sonic could come out the egg. And it had like the golden Sonic eggs, and it had a banger, like the opening for it was a banger, man. And it just stuck with me. And like even to this day, man, I think I had to pay like $80 for it, but I got it sitting here in my collection.
Okay. Oh, you said the 80 ball?
Yeah. It's just one of them games, man. It's hard to come by, you know.
Okay.
So you gotta pay the extra for it.
All right. So me and my girl, this summer we went to I think it's called the Galloping Ghost in Chicago. So they got like, I would have to look it up, but I think they got like 600 or something arcade units in there. They got all kind of games from all, you can just go in there, you pay one standard fee, you got all these arcade games. So the game that this is a game I played on PlayStation. I love this game. This is like one of the most simple games you can play. I'm going to pull it up right here for you guys. I don't know if you guys ever played Tapper. I call it Root Beer Tapper, but one of the most simple games. I love this game. You just serve these guys root beer, boom, boom, boom. Get them out there. You can't let the glass break, obviously. Then you went around. Obviously, it gets harder as the game goes on. But this was the first game I walked into when I walked into that giant arcade. That big arcade is over like 2 buildings. And I played this for like the first 20, 25 minutes.
Man, you got these like super classic games, Andre.
Yes.
Right, like I never even heard of this. You could tell this looked like some really old stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
I told you guys I've been like when I be on my pod, I've been playing games for a long time, like we all have. I got some very fond memories of stuff like this.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was I love this game. It's just, simple. And like I said, you just sell these like this when you get more, they start coming out faster. You got to go up and down different spots and they start throwing them back to you faster. And if it comes off the counter, then you lost the round. So if you let the glass break on the floor, then you lost. So that's one of my
big too.
Reminds me of those old like Game & Watch games.
Yeah.
Reminds me of those a lot. Mm-hmm.
I could go back to Dig Dug. Y'all don't want. I can start. Y'all don't want. I can start going, man.
We could play some Cubert. We could play some Cubert.
Okay.
Start jumping up and down that pyramid, man. Don't get me started.
Man, that's a long time ago, man.
Cubert.
Dig Dug. Did you guys ever play? This was when I first started. I don't really consider this PC gaming, but it was a game on the computer I had called Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. You guys ever played that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've never played it.
The computer game was like a trivia game, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They had a Monopoly game on the computer too, a little old school Monopoly. Oh man, y'all about to get me out. I'm gonna be on another. Don't even get me going. All right, let's see what we got next. We talked about that. So, but yeah, we ain't gonna do all of them. We're gonna talk about handhelds because I'm not big into handhelds, even though I enjoy the Switch and have enjoyed some handheld gaming. So how do you guys feel about the potential that they're talking about Xbox having a handheld? Does it matter to you? Would you play it? Would you get it? Like, how do you feel about that? Because you guys both, you know about handheld with the DS and the Game Boy.
Honestly, I don't know. Personally, I feel like the handheld gaming is kind of, if it ain't on your phone, then who cares, right? As far as playing the game mobilely nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't think that's the move. Honestly, like I don't think. And then what game? Like, what you gonna play? Call of Duty? Like Xbox don't really have no hits like that. You know, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say that on here. Right?
It's just an honest game. This is hey.
Like when I think about it personally, I don't think it. Like even like Nintendo, the Switch is.
That's one of the highest selling consoles. Yeah.
It doubles as a handheld, but you can still play it. Unless they're gonna do something like that, you can still play it at home. And
don't nobody play it in dock mode. Don't nobody play the Switch in dock mode.
Who
Me,
knows? I do.
We played on when we're playing Smash Roll. We'll play it dock.
I don't know. Like, the only people I see playing handheld games out are kids, like little kids, you know, and that's why Nintendo had it on lock for as long as they did because that's who they cater to.
But you gotta think with that what you said. We are the long time gamers. We ain't really the market, I would say. They go into them kids and things like that. The Switch sold so much because a lot of kids had a Switch.
Okay, what kid games do they have on their roster?
Yeah,
at Microsoft. True. That's what I'm saying. So I just don't see it working out for them. Truthfully.
Yeah, I think if they have their Game Pass games on this handheld, that'll really open it up because there's a lot of like variety on Game Pass that aren't necessarily these sort of Xbox exclusives that do seem to cater toward older players. I guess the game that so let me put it this way: if they have Haunted Chocolatier on the Xbox Portable, that game that I mentioned last time, then I'll probably buy it. If there are, and I think there are games that really work well with handheld gaming, and I guess like these. Maybe it's because I'm stuck in like the Pokemon era of like when I was growing up, and like these are the sorts of games that I'm used to playing handheld. Stardew Valley I know is available on the Switch, and I'm like one of my friends owns a Switch, and he carries it around and plays Stardew Valley all day, and that looks like a blast. I would carry it around if I had a Switch. I would carry it around and play Stardew Valley, like at work on a break or something like that. So I think there is still space for it to work, and I'm a little bit interested if there are games on there that I'd want to play when I have the time. I could see myself buying it. Yeah.
The Switch as of today, as of March 2024, the Switch has sold 141 million units.
Wow.
The third best console of all time. So I mean, I don't play. Like I said, people like us might play in dock mode, but most of the people I see don't nobody play in dock mode, man. They traveling on they on the plane. They at the dentist appointment. They something like that at the grocery store.
I think it depends on probably your age or at what stage you were introduced to gaming. Because I mean, for us, consoles were you sit down and you play this on the TV, and we're probably so familiar with that's just how we've always played and how we perhaps always will play. Like typically that's probably how we always will play. But when I think about the younger generation, these are kids that grew up with like tablets, like these they grew up watching and playing on tablets, and it's a short stone's throw from a tablet to a Switch, at least in terms of what you're actually physically working with. So I think it's probably more about what people are familiar with based on what they grew up with, and it's probably why you see so many younger folks carrying around Switches and playing these handheld games versus the older folks. Because I think when I have played Switch, I've always played it docked as well. So I wonder if that is a trend that exists. I wonder if it's older players being more likely to use television.
Yeah. It's a good point. Maybe I'm old.
Hypothesis. It's a guess.
Maybe I don't get out enough,
We are.
Yeah, maybe I don't get out enough. I feel like I'll never see anybody out with this stuff. Even me. There's been times where I thought like, I'm about to bring my Switch to work to play on my break, or I'm going to bring it to do this, and I never even end up not even pulling it out. I just end up like, why did I even bring this? So I don't know. Like I'll just I just pull my phone out. I got a couple of games I play on there. And that's it. Like you say you play the Marvel Snap. I feel like the mobile gaming has like kind of taken on phones rather. I feel like that's kind of taken over that space a little bit.
I was going to ask, Bridget, do you feel like the tide has turned in that? Because I guess I have a memory that it's probably a while ago when Diablo Immortal was announced, and like there was some really significant backlash from people when they announced it was a phone game. I heard it. I think the dude was like, "What, you people don't have phones?" And like the people in the audience we're not pleased.
I think it's us older people again doing that.
Okay. Sure.
Would you guys? That was my next question. Do you consider gaming on the phone gaming? Is that gaming? I mean, that's the simplest way I can put it. Is that gaming?
I think it has to be. I mean, what else?
I mean, it depends on what you're playing. Like you said, somebody playing Diablo Immortal. I mean, you playing Diablo still.
I don't. I'm not about to gatekeep gaming. I'm not about to tell people what isn't it. I mean, my mom plays like Candy Crush or something, some similar game, and it's a game, So like, what's different between that and like Tetris on like the Nintendo?
True.
It's like, I mean, very similar like style of it's a little. I mean, I'm sure every Tetris fan in the world is going to leave a negative comment. Right. I guess in terms of like accessibility or complexity of what's actually happening on the screen, I'm sure there's more strategy in Tetris. Trust me. I bet I know. I bet that's true. I'm sorry to every Tetris fan ever to make that comparison, but it's it's a game.
Lock your doors, Johnny.
Right. Exactly. I think anything through like a screen that you're interacting with and having fun. I mean, it's gaming.
Yeah, I asked that because a couple of years ago, and I had it up before you guys brought it up. Is right now, a couple of years ago it was 51%, but right now 48% of gamers are women, And a lot of that is the phone, you know, the Candy Crush, Farmville, things like that. So I always wondered if people consider, because I go on these forums and read the comments, and they're like, phone gaming, it's not gaming. Call of Duty Mobile, no way. Candy Crush, no, that's great, you know. So it don't really matter to me at all. But, you know, some people don't think it's the cell phones and stuff like that can be a gaming machine.
Yeah, I think when I was younger, I was more protective of the title of what was a game and who gamers were, and I think part of it came from like gaming having sort of a negative stereotype around it. Like gamers were like they weren't cool, they were you know, there was all this negative stereotypes associated with gaming, to the point where being a gamer sort of became this like, you know, it was part of your identity. And it still is to a certain extent, but perhaps with some age comes a little bit of wisdom or something for me. In that, you know, I'm happy to open the doors to anyone that wants to call themselves a gamer now, and consider games as games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, so we'll have to see about it. I mean, I personally would I've been an Xbox head. Oh, the game that I was talking about is Brute Force. That when I said I couldn't remember a game on the original Xbox, it was called Brute Force. Did you ever play that?
I don't think so. Let's
see if I can. Brute Force. They had a guy named Text, and that was a pretty. Brute Force. Brute Force. See if it brings it up. There we go. Me and my brother played it. Try to share it. Here we go, right here. I don't remember this trailer, and these graphics look crazy.
Ooh, I think I did play this. This looks really familiar.
One guy had a sniper. One guy they had their own little different things.
This like alligator man really stands out in my memory. I feel like I've seen this before.
So yeah, original Xbox. So this was a game. I think this game, this and Tetris came with me and my brother's original Xbox.
Sure. Yep.
Yeah, glasses.
So Brute Force, that was a game that I liked on the original Xbox. After I was done being a hater on it. Done being a hater, then that was what I liked. So.
Oh man, that reminded me of sorry, why'd you bring that up, Andre? Was that another underrated game that you were thinking of, or?
Yeah, a game I liked. Yes.
Yeah, that just reminded me of Jet Set Radio Future.
Oh, people love that game.
Jet Set Radio Future is the second one, I think. And I love that game. And the soundtrack of that game is amazing. It's so good. I still listen to it sometimes.
Oh, I can't think. What is the game she always talks about? It's a party game on the X. I have to think about it because it's not Jet Set. It's a party game on the Xbox that's really colorful. What is the name of that game? Oh man, I had to think about it. But Brute Force, Jet Set, let me see, party game on Xbox. I'll try to find that. All right, now we go to our. We're gonna skip a couple of our talking points. We're gonna go ahead and go up to our 21 questions.
All right,
our 21 questions. Y'all ain't getting this one. If y'all do, I'm proud of y'all boys. If y'all get this one, man.
Okay.
I mean, this is also a favorite game of mine too. But y'all just seen some of my favorite games for older, so this might not be that old. There we go. Let's see this one right here. There we go. All right. 21 questions. I picked why I call it 21 questions because 50 Cent has a song named 21 Questions. So BJ would know that, but that's why I call it 21 questions. But we gonna start right now. So who has the first question? Yes or no answers? Yes or no questions?
Let's see. Was it made before the year 2000?
Yes.
Okay.
So before the year 2000.
I mean, that's 64 era still, I think. 64.
Oh, yeah.
PlayStation 1. And no cheating either. No cheating. You can't pull up nothing, man. No cheating.
All right, bro. I got you, bro.
No cheating.
There's a chance we might not know the game. There's always that chance.
It's a lot of games, though, before 2000.
I guarantee you know the game.
Okay.
Both of you.
I mean, should we count that as a question? Probably not.
I mean, hey, he's giving away free information.
I ain't
You know
That's on
what
counting. I
him.
ain't
game?
counting that.
That's
I
on
ain't
him.
counting
You know
that.
what games I know? No. Is it a sports game?
No.
All right.
Okay. Was it on Nintendo? A Nintendo console?
Was it on a Nintendo console? Yes. I'm gonna say yes. I'm pretty sure. Let me just read through it, but I'm pretty sure. Yes.
Okay.
All right. Was it I assume you had to check. Is it like? Was it exclusively on Nintendo or?
That's a good question.
Okay.
Was it a shooter?
No.
Okay.
How many questions are we at? Okay. I think
I'll
we
give
had
you
it
a
by now
clue.
last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a joke question. Don't actually answer, but did it take place in a haunted mansion? Don't actually answer that. That's not a real question.
Oh man. Now what if I say yes?
Not exclusively Nintendo. Is it an RPG?
No. That's 5.
Okay, so we know that it's
Not a shooter or RPG.
Not an exclusive Nintendo game, not a shooter, not an RPG. You asked about sports game, right? It's not a sports game.
I did. Oh yeah, I did. Yeah.
And it's before 2000. Let's see. What other games are there? Is it a fighting game?
No.
Oh my gosh.
What? Oh man. Okay, so I mean, we supposed to know what it is. I was gonna ask.
So when you said it's not a shooter, so notice that I didn't ask if it was a first person shooter. I asked like if it was a shooter. Do you shoot? Can I expand on that yes or no question? Do you shoot things? This
gonna count. This gonna count as another question.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll retract it. Well,
no,
feel free to ask.
Let me ask a clarifying. Let me clarify your yes or no answer. When I asked if it was a shooter, did you answer no, saying that it's not a first person shooter game?
I put all kind of shooters in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not sports, fighting, RPG. What's left, man? There's nothing
There's
left,
like
man.
puzzle games, maybe.
It's not exclusively Nintendo. I would have said maybe Zelda or something, but it's not only on Nintendo.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they don't know this game. I would think so. I think I would know.
Is it an adventure game?
No.
What? What are we dealing with?
7.
Okay.
So it's like bro, this man pulled up some stuff we ain't never heard of for sure.
What? Yeah,
at least it's not root beer tapper. I mean,
it could have been. No, I would have never guessed that.
Yeah.
Old before 2000s game that is no genre that I don't know.
Oh man.
Does
okay, not adventure, not RPG. I might have burned a question with the adventure question. Oh, well. Not a shooter, not a sports game.
Dang.
Are there robots in the game?
No.
What? Okay.
Is the main character of the game an animal?
That was my next question. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Oh.
we ain't got Well, not a one. Yes. Well, I guess
Oh my gosh.
except for the early 2000 before 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so it was not a Nintendo exclusive. So it was on
Nope.
variety
But
of
it was
consoles.
on Nintendo, but not an
Yes.
exclusive for Nintendo.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, maybe we burn a few questions narrowing down the era. Maybe we burn a few figuring out like what system it was on. What do you
How
think,
many
BJ?
questions have we asked now?
I think we've asked like 10.
Nine.
Nine?
Okay.
Oh, okay. We got a few left.
We've got
All right.
12 questions left.
So who was? Shit.
Was it a multiplayer game?
It's a good one.
Was it a multiplayer game? Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Do you drive in the game?
No.
You don't drive. Okay. I kind of had an idea, but that just kind of killed that.
Are there weapons in the game?
No.
Man, it's like some educational math game or something, man.
Also,
Like,
No.
dang.
That's 11 questions.
Damn, 21 is a lot too. When we
got 10 more questions. This one's a lot tougher than the last one. I gotta say, this one's a bit tougher than the previous one. So there's no weapons in the game. It's multiplayer, and the main character is not an animal. Do we know that there are like? Is it a puzzle game?
No.
Oh my gosh!
I can't wait to hear what this is, man. I ain't gonna lie. Whew.
It's multiplayer.
What is even left?
I will tell you that though this game, I'm looking at the details about the game. There is multiplayer, but I wouldn't consider it a multiplayer game. There is multiplayer elements in the game.
Okay. So it's a game that's actually, I think that's actually a really helpful response. The one about weapons. There's no weapons in the game at all, so that factors out a lot.
There is. You know what? I'm gonna change. I don't know if I should change it or not. Actually, I'm gonna do what they do. Rephrase that question.
Okay. Are there weapons? So the question was, are there weapons in the game? Let's see. Is the goal, or is any part of the objective of the game to hurt or attack something? That's my best thought to rephrase that question.
No.
Okay.
Not so you really not fighting, man.
Yeah.
No fighting involved, no driving involved.
You guys are at 12 questions.
And it was on Nintendo before 2000.
It was on it. You don't know which Nintendo console. You guys didn't narrow that down.
Right.
And you know, sometimes think it, you know, it was on 64, but then it went to the Switch as well. You know, so sometimes, you know, it was on Xbox, but then it went to PlayStation. Sometimes that had, you know, after about 3 episodes, I ain't giving y'all no more hints. All right, that's the first couple episodes.
I appreciate your generosity, Andre. I appreciate it. Let's see.
Oh shit.
Man.
I'm like trying to think of a good question.
I've got a game in mind that I don't know if it was on. I don't know if it was on consoles in that era. Am I allowed to look up facts about? If I have a certain game in mind, okay.
No. No.
Dang.
Because well, BJ. So maybe Andre, I'm not asking questions for the game. I'm just going to talk.
Yeah,
with
y'all
BJ
just
real quick,
conversing.
So,
Yeah.
So BJ, I'm wondering if it's The Sims. I'm wondering if it's like a sim game.
That's like
My daughter's favorite.
I wish I could.
Exactly. I knew, yeah, because I see his Steam account all the time playing The Sims. And last time I am sort of metagaming a little bit because last time he told us he was going to ask other people like for input on the games that he was going to pick for this. So
I mean, it's looking real deep into it here.
So
at this point, it's like we didn't named every other genre. I mean, I guess you.
So was my question to you though, BJ, was The Sims on consoles before 2000?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I feel like The Sims was predominantly like on the PC and came to the consoles later.
Right. Yeah, I thought so too.
Because I remember I used to be interested in The Sims, but at the time I didn't have a PC to play it on.
Were there any? So I think simulation games are one of the few genres that we haven't actually asked about. And were there any on consoles? Does that make it worth asking a question about?
I honestly, I don't, because even have it on a Nintendo console, even before 2000s, I don't believe that.
So there was the only thing that was it pre that when did the DS come out? Was that post 2000, or was that was like right around that neighborhood? Right, that is
a good point, maybe
because the DS had a game called Herbs on it, which was like The Sims Herbs. It was like The Sims like in the city or something like that. So there were, if that was 2000, there is a Sims game on a console, on a Nintendo console at that time, and I think Herbs was on GameCube as well.
Okay,
I mean, y'all still got a lot of questions.
We got a lot of questions. It's I don't
be on something. You putting some logic.
Yeah, it's just a thought. if you've got anything, if you've got any other for us to look.
There's still tons of genres you guys haven't hit.
So we on what, 9 or 10 questions still?
12.
So we got 9 left.
We got 9 left. Yeah.
Is it on the Nintendo 64?
No.
Is it on the...
When did GameCube come out? GameCube was.
It might have been like right around.
Can we look that up? Is that allowed?
No.
Oh God.
No.
Can't look up nothing, man. Got us.
That's our brain power right here, man. Next week is gonna be Billy Hatcher, all
right? I probably still wouldn't figure it out.
How old was I when? I honestly don't remember. I think GameCube was post 2000. I think it was after 2000.
Probably.
So
it was around there somewhere, if not.
So if it's not in 64, we're looking at Super Nintendo, right?
I mean, the Super Nintendo, I feel like is one that had a lot of games that was on it and like PlayStation. So that's one thing that I feel like could be good.
Well, because then I think we're looking at like, if it was Super Nintendo, we're looking at like Sega Genesis as like competing consoles. And Dreamcast. Dreamcast was competing with N64.
Still got questions to narrow it down. You don't got to get it in one. Still got some. Just narrow it down.
Was it? Here's one. Was it on a disc?
That's a good question.
Was it on a disc?
That's actually a really good question.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
Pre-2000s, not on the disc. So, yeah, I mean, that still leaves open the Super Nintendo. We know it's not Nintendo 64.
Mm-hmm.
So
that tells us that it's pre-Dreamcast, pre-PlayStation.
It's not PlayStation.
Or does it?
How?
I'm just here, man.
He's just complicating it. He's just.
Hey, I don't know. He just
throw us off. So it's not an RPG, not a shooter, not a sports game, not a puzzle game.
no fighting involved, so no
Yeah,
violence,
that's right. Yeah, that's right.
no animals, main character.
Was it how many? We have 8 questions left.
Yeah.
I'm going to check this question with BJ to see how he feels about it. I'm not actually asking. So,
Hey,
BJ,
man.
how do you feel about this question? Was it 2-dimensional graphics?
Yeah, I mean, why not? We got 8 questions.
It might be sort of redundant since we know it was on a
That
cartridge
I mean,
already.
that narrows it down some of it.
Are you
Okay.
asking?
What do you think, BJ? I'll let you have
Yeah,
the call.
let's go for it, man.
Is it
Hey,
2-dimensional?
you got better ideas than me, man.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, 2D graphics. Is it?
I
This
think
is
it's
not another
whatever
question.
it is.
If it's Toe Jam and Earl, I'm going to be upset. If it's Toe Jam and Earl, I'm going to be mad.
That's not a bad guess at this point. I don't even. You just kind of walk around collecting stuff, man.
I would. So that to me sounds like an adventure. So he said it wasn't an
Yeah.
adventure game. So if it ends up being Toe Jam and Earl, we get to call shenanigans.
Protest?
Yeah, we're gonna shut this stream down if it's Toe Jam and Earl.
Part of me damn near want to say like Paperboy or something.
I mean, that's sort of fitting.
I don't think that's it, but
That
it's
fits
like,
everything we've said so far.
It's got to be something like that.
It was on multiple. It was on N64. I think that was both Super Nintendo and N64. That's not a bad guess. That's not a bad guess.
That's like the only game I could think of where nothing.
Yeah,
you're not doing anything like that. But I don't know how he feels about that game.
Did he say that it wasn't only on? Were there other?
He said it was only not on. Yeah, he said it was not only on, and I don't know if it was only on Nintendo. That game, I'm not sure.
I think there was a Sega one. I'm not sure.
He said we would know what it is, so he thinks that we would know what it is.
Yeah,
you never know.
I like that guess though. I think that hits everything so far. Well, it's multiplayer. Was there multiplayer in?
Oh yeah. I don't think that there was actually. I think it was only single player.
Okay.
So maybe that's not it. But he said it's multiplayer, but he wouldn't consider it multiplayer.
That's right. He said there are multiplayer aspects to it. And it's on a cartridge, right? Because that's the only pre-2000 thing that could have been not a disc.
Yes. Okay, how about this? Is it on the Super Nintendo?
Is it on the Super Nintendo?
Yeah.
No.
See. So it's good to get that out because that's kind of what I was basing my theory around.
Yeah.
So dang, not on N64 or Super Nintendo pre-2000s, not on a disc?
I think that leaves NES, right? It's got to be on the Nintendo.
The original Nintendo or Sega?
Yeah. That's 15, by the way. Sorry, guys.
Okay. 6
or
more questions.
Sega, Sega Genesis had cartridges.
Yeah, so it's
something that could have been on Sega and Nintendo.
So it had to be.
So it would have to be. It would also have to be NES then.
Right.
Because what else? There's nothing else left now. We kind of narrow all of it down.
Unless it's like Game Boy.
Oh yeah, that is a good point.
Mm-hmm. I would. Well, okay. So he also said that the main character wasn't an animal, so that rules out Sonic and all Sonic games.
That's
true. I was wondering about Sonic because I think there was.
I was wondering about like Sonic or I can't.
I thought there was a Sonic Super Nintendo game. Maybe I'm really wrong though because
it probably maybe is.
Yeah, I don't know.
Off the top of my head, I don't know. Oh boy. So I'm like, might as well burn down the last questions.
Okay. Well, so he said it's in it. Oh, it looks like we got some clarifying information coming in.
Originally, this game. So remember, I said I didn't know this, so I'm just looking at Originally, this game did not come on a disc, but it did get ported to a disc format.
Okay. So something that came back out later on a disc.
It was a tough one.
Yeah.
We have 6 questions left.
2D graphics. 2D
graphics.
That also kills it a little bit for me because there was a few games that I had in mind. I don't know. I'm about ready to.
Well, I mean, we can narrow it down some more. We can ask if it was actually on the NES. Do you think that's worth it?
Yes, I mean at this point we just gotta ask whatever we can ask.
Yeah, was it on the NES?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's old.
Yeah. I mean, if it's just like the original Mario or something like that, then that's a Nintendo exclusive, though, right?
Yeah, it is. What's on there, man? You got Pong on there.
You got like.
There's only so many games, right? That's not Mario.
Yeah,
there was. I don't know if Duck Hunt was ever on anything other than Nintendo.
Hunt,
probably not. It was probably only on that one.
I would definitely consider Duck Hunt a shooter. Perhaps the first shooter.
It does have guns in it.
Yeah, so I would. It can't. There's no way that's Duck Hunt because that's.
It does have guns technically.
Yeah, it is, and you are very literally shooting something. So I would, if any game was a shooter, I would say Duck Hunt. Perhaps the purest of shooters.
Yeah, like the original shooter, right?
Let's see.
In some ways.
And so he said that like attacking something wasn't a primary objective of the game.
Yeah, and that's kind of technically what you do in that game.
Yeah.
Man, it's Pong,
but
man.
that also rules
out multiplayer, allegedly.
Like Contra and stuff like that too.
It's Pong, man.
So he said it wasn't a sports game, and Pong is just like
that's more, I guess.
It's ping pong. That is definitely.
We gonna have to come up with some bylaws. That's what we gonna do.
Right, man. Right now, it's too many gray areas.
Yep. Okay. What Super Nintendo games do I even know?
Want to say
what regular Nintendo? What regular Nintendo games? NES
That's
games?
not Mario.
That's not Mario. Yeah.
I don't even know. Besides Duck Hunt and the other one, Pong, and I know there was another game, but technically it would be the first ever adventure game, which I think it was called Adventure or whatever. When you literally walk around with a little block.
Should we ask if Mario's in a game? If it's a Mario game? Because maybe there's a I don't know.
Yeah, I mean I ain't forget this thing all about just asking the questions to get to it. So you still got 6 or whatever, however many questions left. I mean, if you think so, up to y'all.
Yeah, hey, I'm not opposed to any question you got to ask.
Okay, yeah. Is it a Mario game?
No.
Oh my god.
All right. Okay. Not Mario. Like, what was not Mario on NES, bro?
4 questions left. 4.
I thought you said we had 6.
That was a couple questions ago.
That's all right. That's okay. Oh, my knowledge of NES games is not there.
Well, so it can't be a Zelda game either because that's very much an adventure game.
Adventure with fighting and attacking and
swords and yeah. And
I also don't think it ever went to anything other than Nintendo. What do you think, man?
Does it feature otherwise famous characters? Like, would somebody who didn't play the game recognize the main characters?
No.
Okay.
And one of the questions I will give, I'm not telling you to ask this, but a lot of times when I watch other shows do it, they ask if this is a licensed game. So like a Disney, like if it's licensed or a Star.
Sure. Mm-hmm. That's sort of what I was getting at with that question. Yeah. We've got 3 questions left.
Mm-hmm.
I know like 3 NES games in total.
Two questions, and the last one's your guess.
Okay.
Unless you get it before. So.
Okay.
I'm stumped, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
It's tough. It's tough. I
am
I
stumped. I
sadly
don't even
don't
know
know
what
too
kind of
many.
question I could ask now at this point.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any Nintendo games that I know that
Still
we
a
haven't
ton of
already rolled out.
genres. Ton of genres.
Yeah.
Yeah, we done went through everything. It's all no. Oh, not puzzle, not sports, not action. Or well, I guess we never said action, but not adventure, not RPG, not shooter, not no
I feel like I'm
driving.
gonna have some. Once we hit the answer, I feel like I'm gonna have some bones to pick. I feel like we're gonna
I
have.
think so too. We asked too many questions for it
Yeah.
to. It's gonna be something there, man. It's gonna be like, hold on. You know, it has to be. It has to be, man.
Yeah, you guys give up. Just tell me now. Hey.
I'm about ready to throw in the towel. I'm not gonna lie to you.
We gotta at least burn our last couple questions.
That's for sure.
Or at least at minimum take a guess.
Yep. Are there? Is it a sci-fi genre game? Like, is there flying ships and that sort of stuff?
No, but that's a good question.
Okay.
What's up, 5, 10, 15? You guys, my apologies. This is your 21st thing, so this is your guess.
Oh, this is my guess. Okay.
Rip. Even though, my guess that I'm gonna make, even though you kind of said no to a few of the things that this might fall under.
one guess is a total, so
Okay, so we gotta agree on one. Okay, what are you thinking, Johnny?
Me?
What are you thinking?
Gosh, I really don't know. I'm really stuck. Because things like Tetris, I would consider Tetris a puzzle game, for example.
Right.
But I feel like it's probably something like that. I feel like it's probably something like that.
That's a good guess. That's what I was kind of thinking, like
Tetris or Dr. Mario.
That's what I was saying, like
Pong.
Yeah. Dr. Mario. Well, he said it was no.
He said it wasn't a Mario game though. So.
But that would have been another good one. That's why I'm like, it got to be like Tetris, or maybe you don't consider Pong sports.
And he said we definitely know it. He said we definitely know it though. So like
that's what I'm saying. In my head, I was thinking Pong still, because that's the only thing I could think of. But
is that your guess?
Tetris is a good guess too, I think.
What was well, it wasn't a sports game.
Tetris, I think.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess Tetris.
I can agree with Tetris.
I think
that's
your final guess.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Kick your. So one of the questions that they generally ask, you're gonna kick yourself when you see it. One of the questions they generally ask when they can't get it is, "Have we said the name of this game on the podcast yet?" And the answer is yes. Yes, BJ. Yes.
Nice.
Y'all both know this game, right?
What took us away from Paperboy? Why did we say no? Why did we change our mind?
I don't even know why we said no.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I love this.
That's funny. That's funny. Only game I can think of.
Hold on. Here we go. Okay, it starts. The complaints start because
you have to bleep me out, man. My bad.
Paperboy was on the Super Nintendo.
I looked it up. It was on the NES and the Sega.
What? I feel like I played it on that Super Nintendo, but I can't remember.
So
Paperboy 2.
Paperboy 2 was on.
Paperboy 2 was the one that I played.
Game Boy Color, NES, PC.
Oh man!
Damn, I had it. That's funny.
You had it. Yeah.
That's so funny.
You ain't when you said it, I just tried to keep a straight face.
You did. I was watching you too. You reacted to some of the other stuff.
I had the same.
But when I said Paperboy, you didn't really react. But Johnny was like, "Man, that's a good one." I should have.
I know. I'm like, okay. I should have
stuck with it.
I think I thought it was on Super Nintendo, which is why I think I came away from it.
And then when I read, then they said it was released on Xbox 360, N64, mobile, iOS. Yeah, me either.
It makes sense though, but I didn't know all that.
Yeah, Paperboy, man, Paperboy.
Look at that. Hey, you know what? We were on the right track then.
You had it, man. I'm counting that as a win. I'm counting that as a win. You had it. You had it.
Nah, John.
No, I came off of it.
We're 2-0. We're 1.5. Wow. We're 1.5-0.
That was funny.
We're 1.5.
That is actually funny.
So sometimes the thing I'm watching, they'll do like let me end it. Well, I'll end it in a second, but they'll do they'll start naming off games like Halo 1, Halo 2, Gears 1, if it was an Xbox 360 game, and then they'll say, have we said the name of this game? And then that'll help you out. So it'll be something you said already,
I see. Interesting.
So let's say our goodbyes, then we can talk after. But we getting out of here, guys. Thanks for hanging with us.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Gaming Hour. See you guys soon.
Fun.
Sorry again, Tetris fans. Sorry.
Sorry.
Let me apologize to the Xbox fans too, because I said something.
What was that Maker game you said? Meet the Maker.
Meet the Maker.
Mm-hmm. You and your 16 players. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm just, All right, guys. We'll see you later.